So we're going to look at increasing and decreasing by a given percentage now. These are quite tricky problems, but using the double number line should scaffold your thinking and we should be good to go. Alrighty, so I'm going to increase 2,700 by 22%. What can I do? What do I know? What do I know? Alrighty, let's have a look. 100% is 2,700, 2,700. I want to increase it by 22%. So I'm going to get to 122%. Can you see how I did that? I added on the 22. Yeah, I want to find what 22% more is. So my number will be here. That's the unknown number. And what can I do? Well, if you know how to get from here to here, you can do the same thing and get from there to there. If you don't know what that is, well, you just work out 1% and you go from there. So let's do that. 1%. Let's have a look. Let's go. So I can work out the 1% on this side because I've got two values. So where do I start? At the top or in the middle? Well, I have to start in the middle because that's where I've got two values as well. So 100 down to 1 is divided by 100. So 100 divided by 100 is 1. And then from 1% I can go up to 122% by multiplying by 122. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I have to divide by 100 and multiply by 122. So my number is, let's follow the arrows back. I started with 2,700. I divided it by 100 and then I multiplied it by 122. So I started with 2,700, I divide by 100 and I multiply by 122. So I can cancel that, and what I'm left with is 27 times 122, which is $3,294. And that's it. So increasing $2,700 by 22% is actually multiplying by this ratio of 1.22. That's what you would get to go from here to here. 100 times 1.22 would get you there. But using the number line, double number line, works really, really well. So let's decrease 163 kilos by 45%. So my original 100% is 163. It's got my numbers on the left, percents on the right. If I do a decrease of 45%, I actually want to find 55% of the value. So that 55% comes from 100 minus 45. Okay, that's the hardest part, to remember what you've got to do. So if I decrease by 45%, I actually want to find 55% of the original value. So my number is this one here that's missing. And then I start again just as I do every other time. Which side do I have two numbers on? The left or the right? Well, it's on the right, so I can work out 1%. And do I start at the top or in the middle? I have to start at the top because there I've got two values, because I want to end up at this unknown. So I start at the top and I come down. So I must have done 100 divided by 100. And then I must have 1 times 55 equals 55%. Do exactly the same on the other side. Divide by 100 and then multiply by 55. So then my number, let's have a look. My number is follow the arrows back. 163. What did I do to it? I divided it by 100. What did I do to it then? That's the purple arrow. I multiplied it by 55. You can use your calculator for that one because I'm not going to work that out. 89.65 kilos. Oops, sorry. So decreasing 163 kilos by 45% gives me an answer of 89.65 kilos. Think about it, even just before you start, what's 50% of 163? Well, 50% of 160 is 80, so it has to be a little bit higher than that because I'm only taking away 45%. So yeah, that answer is actually quite reasonable. So I hope you thought the double number line scaffolded that well, because it makes your thinking so much clearer. The only thing you need to remember is when you decrease by 45%, you're actually just asked to work out, well, if I decrease by 45%, I'm actually asked to find 55% of the value. That's the trickiest part. Okay, so the last one we're going to look at is percentage increase and decrease. If I earn $950 a week and I get an increase of $32, what is that as a percentage of my original earnings? What is that increase? Is it a 5% increase? Is it 10% increase? What actually is the percentage increase? Alrighty, so $950 a week, that's 100%. That was my original earnings. So 100% is $950. So percent on this side, money on this side. What happened to that $950? Well, I got a percentage increase up to $982 because I now earn $32 a week more. So there's my $32 increase, and I'd like to know what percentage that increase is. So that's actually going to be the difference between these two values at the end. So let's have a look. Do I start on the left or on the right? Where do I have two values? This time it's on the left hand side, so I need to put my 1 here. I can't work with this side because this has got unknowns. I can't work at this level because it's also got unknowns, so I have to start here, or actually on this side here. So I'm going to go from 950 down to 1, which means I have to divide by 950. And how do I go from $1 up to 982? Well, I've multiplied by 982. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I'm going to divide by 950, divide by 950, and multiply by 982. Let's have a look what we get. So let's have a think. Where I've got to end up here, so let's follow it back. Where did I start? I started at the 100. So my answer, P, is 100. That's where I started. What did I do to it? Divide by 950 and multiply by 982. So that gives me an answer of 103.36842 ... So this is roughly 103.4%. Okay, so my percentage increase is 3.4%, because I've gone from 100% to 103.4. So my percentage increase is 3.4%.